You train your arms every week, you do all the exercises you're told to do, you see other guys with big arms, yet your arms don't seem to grow. So let's fix that. Now, how should you know that I can help you? The reason I can help you is because this was me. I genetically was always the skinny kid when I was growing up. I would train my arms and do all the exercises that you're told you need to do, and yet my arms wouldn't grow. And since those days, I've added a few inches to my arms, and by the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can add a few inches to your arms as well. Let's first address the uncomfortable reality of life. The uncomfortable reality is that some guys are genetically gifted. They just have big arms. They don't even need to train that often. They might not even directly train their arms, yet they have big arms. And other guys are genetically skinny, have small insertions of the muscle or small joints, and you're just a smaller guy. It's one of the reasons I would never take advice from the biggest guy in the gym or the biggest bodybuilders, because they are genetically gifted, which means they've not had to struggle to build their arms, and thus they can't teach you how to build big arms if they've never had to struggle themselves. If everything they ever do they just grow immediately from, they're not going to be able to help you. But the reality of this very important point I'm trying to make is, don't compare your progress to somebody else's. The only goal you should have is how you can build bigger arms for yourself. If you only have 13-inch arms now, how can you get to 14? How can you get to 15? Don't look at the guy that has 22-inch arms and wonder why you can't achieve the same. Another thing you need to hear that nobody else is going to tell you is that the reality of building bigger arms is that it does take time. You can make progress as the months go by, but it will take time. It takes consistent effort. It's why every single person in the street doesn't have big arms, because it takes time. And that's not necessarily a bad thing to do something that's difficult. It just requires consistency, and the sooner that you get that into your mind, the sooner you can start making progress. We've got 4 main points to cover, and also at the end of the video I'm going to give you a bonus tip so you don't want to miss that as well. The first category for building bigger arms is finding the sweet spot for volume. The mistake that people make is they either train their arms too much or not enough. It's usually actually that people train too much. If you're trying to train your arms 18, 24, 30 sets of biceps and triceps per week, guess what? You're not going to build muscle, and actually doing more exercises and more volume every week is not going to help you build muscle, because you can only build muscle if your body can recover from the work that you've done in the gym. And that is one of the reasons you see guys training their arms every day, or 20 sets a week, 30 sets a week, and they don't grow. It's because it's too much volume. Your body cannot recover. And of course also the opposite can apply. If you're not doing enough direct arm work, then you're not going to build bigger arms either. So it's that sweet spot. I found that sweet spot is between 9 sets and 15 sets per week for the arms, split up throughout your workouts. Only 9 sets to 15 sets. Anything over 15 sets, there's just no point to that. You're not recovering from those sets. You're just making it more difficult to build muscle. The second tip is to train your arms first in your workout. If you're doing a full body workout or whatever split routine you do, then train arms first. I would typically recommend starting with compound movements like the bench press or the squat, something like that. However, if you're struggling to build your arms and it's a real weak point, when you have the most energy and the most focus at the start of your workout, start with your biceps and your triceps training. The third thing we need to talk about is exercise rotation and rep ranges. Now, one of the biggest mistakes, once again, that people make is they stick to the same boring exercises that they always do. The barbell bicep curl or the dumbbell curl or skull crushers, all great exercises, but you have to rotate exercises. After a period of time, your body will simply just get used to that same stimulus over and over again. What I recommend is every 4 weeks, change your biceps and your triceps exercises. Rotate different exercises. If you're focusing on skull crushers, so you're hitting the long head, then change to a rope push down. If you do barbell bicep curls, do some kind of hammer curl or an incline curl, something completely different. That way your body has something new to adapt to, and that's going to cause more muscle growth. Make sure you stick to those exercises for at least 4 weeks so that you can build some progress and really work on your form on those exercises. And then when it comes to rep ranges, what I would do is every 2 weeks change the rep ranges. So don't just work in the 10 to 12 rep range. Maybe you do 2 weeks in the 12 to 10 rep range, then you drop down to 6 to 8 reps. Then you change your exercises, perform the 6 to 8 rep range for 2 weeks, and then change to 12 to 15 reps, and then change to 8 to 10 reps. Change those rep ranges around and make sure you don't just stick to the same boring thing all the time. The fourth thing we have to discuss before I give you the bonus tip is nutrition and sleep. Extremely important. You can use all of these tips in this video that I've given you, and if you don't eat enough protein and if you don't eat enough calories and get to bed on time, all of those tips go out of the window. It's very important that you eat enough protein. Protein is the only substance that is going to build your muscles, that is going to grow your muscles. So 1 gram per pound of body weight, for example, if you weigh 160 pounds, multiplied by 1, that's 160 grams of protein per day. That's your goal, very simple calculation. If you hit that number, you're eating enough protein. Also, you have to eat in a calorie surplus. If you want to build bigger arms, it means you need to get bigger, you need to grow, you need to weigh more. And to be able to weigh more, that means you're going to have to eat more. And so what I recommend is gain around 0.5 pounds on the scale per week. So that's 2 pounds a month on the scale. Any more than that and you're just adding extra body fat. So make sure you hit that calorie surplus as well. And then sleep. Sleep is the biggest superpower that we have. 7 to 9 hours per night. If you do not sleep 7 to 9 hours per night, every night, building muscle is going to be extremely difficult for you. You have to remember that when you sleep, that is when the muscles grow. It's not in the gym that we grow. It's actually at night when you're in bed that those muscles can grow bigger and stronger. And that leads us to the bonus tip that I promised you guys, and that is an isometric hold at the end of your triceps and biceps training. Studies show that just squeezing a muscle, just holding that contraction, can actually help you build more muscle. And not only that, it's going to help you get a better pump, feel more connected to the muscle, and it's something that's extremely easy to do after that exercise. So for example, if I've just done a bicep curl, I will then take my arm above my head and really squeeze the bicep as hard as I can for maybe just 5 seconds. And doing that after every single set makes a big difference. Same with the triceps. I'll take my arms and I'll go back behind my body and squeeze my triceps, and you'll feel your triceps and biceps burning just from holding that for 5 seconds. The video that is on screen right now is me talking about the best exercises for each muscle group. So I go through all the body parts because of course we don't just want to build bigger arms, we want to build a bigger chest, bigger back, bigger legs, all of the body parts. And so I talk about the best exercises for each muscle group in that video.